Good midnight everyone, welcome back to your beloved Drawback chess speedrun series, the only 100% chess speedrun series after years of videos. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. Today we're climbing from 7500 to 7600 rating points. Crusade. For 4 consecutive moves, starting on move 14, you must end your turn occupying c3. Okay, very challenging. It's not straight up impossible, but I'll say it is very near there. Reveal drawback to opponent. Well, at least I can play free chess up until then. e5. Knight f3, knight c6, d4, take. Wait. I don't want to bring his queen out, that queen is so going to prevent me from taking over c3, but I also don't want to trade queens, as my queen can also be a good piece to land on c3. She may die in the process, but at least a woman can make up for one move in the 4. Queen f3. Lining up the queen with the c3 square. Knight f5. That is a weird move, maybe a hint to what his drawback is, but after thinking for a while I still couldn't come up with anything that makes sense. Knight e7. Bishop b5. Knight takes f5. E takes f5. Okay, wait. Maybe that was a wrong idea. I need to take over c3 for 4 moves, which means I may need 4 pieces to do that. Trading off that knight means I now have 1 fewer piece to do my drawback. Oh my god, this is bad. Knight d4. Let's not lose any more piece. Man, the light square bishop is already useless, so now I have to either make use of a pawn or a rook. Castle. That blunders a bishop. Lining my knight up for c3 as well. That is really nice. Rook e1 check. Bishop blocks. This bishop needs to go to c3 though. I need to remove this pin real fast. Queen f3. Castle. Knight d2. Okay, we don't have enough pieces. It is too late to make use of a rook. Pawn is my only option. Oh my god, even my dark bishop isn't looking at c3 right now. We may actually not have enough moves to do this, especially if he can remove one of my tempo right here. I am dead. Have to save the queen. Bishop f4. c4. Rook d1. Alright, my drawback officially begins. Crusade. c3. I need to end my turns occupying c3 for 4 turns in a row, but unfortunately in this scenario I can only at best do it in 3 turns, that is already including sacrificing the queen. So now I can only hope that he can somehow just ignore this pawn for 1 move, just 1 single move, and I can finish my drawback. Then we play a normal game of chess. And it really happened. Wow. Maybe it has something to do with his drawback, but honestly I can't find any connection between this and the previous knight f5, I'll just forget about it. Bishop f6. I win. And he ignored it for 1 more move. Okay, I think this guy just doesn't understand my drawback. Let's open up the other bishop then. Now he takes the pawn. Knight takes c3. That is move 17, drawback accomplished. Now I play a normal game of chess, while being up a piece. Rook takes c3. I'll take with bishop. Rook lift. d4. Bishop e5. I'll trade queens then. What is this guy's drawback though? I am genuinely curious. And he didn't even take my queen. Queen e2. Rook e3. Queen d1. Backrank checkmate. Resignation. Your opponent's drawback was true, gentlemen. Can't capture queens. Second game, let's go. Relay race. If you can move a piece that's adjacent to the destination of your last move, you must. Absolutely diabolical. Reveal drawback to opponent. d4. Okay, so I need to make moves that don't touch my own pieces. d5. A very empty area around my d-pawn, literally not touching anything. Knight f3. Aha. Bishop g4. I'll trade down as many pieces as possible. Trimming down my own amount of materials is the best way to reduce this drawback's impact on my position. Bishop f4. Immediate trade. Why is he thinking though? Bishop g3. Wait. I moved my bishop. He moved his bishop. I moved my bishop. He moved his bishop. Wow. Okay, we obviously have to test it out to see if it is true or not, and there is actually a very easy way to do it right here. A very casual retreat. It touches my d-pawn, but the pawn cannot move anyway, provided he has to move his bishop right now. I win. Bishop takes c2. He only has one bishop that can move. If I can take his bishop and his other bishop cannot move, he will automatically lose to his own drawback. Bishop takes c7. Aha. I see. If I take his bishop, he won't be forced to move his bishop anymore, and he can also take my bishop, but then my queen move has already touched a lot of things, so I will then be forced to succumb to my own drawback. That is funny. I have to continue moving my bishop. Okay, maybe winning this game isn't exactly that easy. Let's just cut down the pieces first to help tackle my drawback. Bishop takes d8. Okay, of course I'm not opening up his other bishop. Bishop c2 again. Bishop takes e7. That blunders a game. Bishop takes e7. Opponent loses to his own drawback. Your opponent's drawback was religious dispute. If your opponent moves a bishop, you must move a bishop, or lose. Absolutely perfect. Third game, let's go. Third game we get a guy called Always Reveal, and as you expect, he reveals his drawback even before I can read mine. Unlucky. Can't move to half of squares, re-randomized every move, and inside the lines, you can't move onto the rim. You can make moves that start and stop on the rim. Reveal drawback to opponent. Ha! Even I don't know which squares are disabled, so this reveal actually doesn't even do anything. We are playing this game by sheer luck now. e4. Knight c6. Knight c3, g6, e5, d4, take bishop e4. I planned to
Fianchetto.
but eventually changed my mind. There is no need to play passively to defend the king, because even if my king cannot move, as long as he is on the rim, he is pretty much 90% safe. Knight takes c6. Okay, I can't open up my queen here. If queen takes d8 and I cannot recapture, then it is checkmate in one. B takes c6 is kinda forced. Bishop d2. Knight e7, e5, knight f5, a3, bishop back, knight e4. Bishop e7. g4. Knight h4. People say knights on the rim is dim, but just for this game this knight is my strongest piece on the entire board. g5. The system literally leaves me absolutely no legal move here. c5. Bishop e3. I wonder what happens if I have no legal move though. Kinda curious, but we can't really test it out in a game like this. Bishop b7. Knight takes c5. Aha. That blunders a rook. Ha, since he cannot move from inside onto the rims, if I keep my king on the rims, then the only way he can take my king is to do it from rim to rim. Therefore if I just take both his rooks and his queen, my king is then literally untouchable. Knight takes d7. Wait. Aha. I see. He is putting everything on luck. If I take his knight right now, he'll go queen takes queen, betting that my king has a 50% of not being able to recapture due to my drawback. Okay, not a big fan of that. Rook b8. I'm not blundering a rook though. His knight cannot capture from inside to a rim. Knight f6. That is not a check. Again, his knight cannot capture to a rim. I'll just castle. Alright, now both my rooks are defending my queen. There is a 50% chance I cannot recapture. But there is also knight f3 check to buy a tempo in case the randoms don't do me good. The choice is now in his hands. He goes for it. Unfortunately, I can recapture. Bishop a6. That bishop went from rim to rim. Still need to be careful about that bishop then. Knight g2 check. King f1. Knight takes e3 check. King g1. Knight takes c2. His a-rook is the only target left. If it dies there is nothing to think about anymore. Rook c1. Bishop f3. Actually I've just realized that I don't even have to take his rook. If his rook can just voluntarily leaves a rim, it actually can never go back to the rim again and is also useless. Absolutely perfect. Rook b6. Bishop e2 leaving the rims. That blunders a king. Rook d1. Backrank checkmate in 1. Drawback chess speed run today. 300% win rate.